the Russians, and my dad organized one in Rapid City, South Dakota, my junior year in college. So then I wrestled Victor Alexiev, who's a world champ and two-time world champion, and second and third in the world, and so we're wrestling in Rapid City, and the Rapid City Journal asked me, "How are you going to do?" And I said, "Well," and this is what the story is behind The Toughest Kid on the Block, the book that's been written about me, is that I said, "Well, I'm going to pin him." And my dad and somebody said, "Well, you're 0-5 against the Russians." Yeah, but this is in my hometown. I go, I'm not going to be wrestling the Russian. I'm going to be wrestling a guy to find out who is the toughest kid in Rapid City, who's the toughest kid on my block. I go, if this Russian lived in the United States and I couldn't beat him, I wouldn't be an NCAA champion this year. And I said, and if he lived in South Dakota and I couldn't beat him, I wouldn't be a state champion if he was at my way. And if he lived right next door to me and I couldn't beat him, I wouldn't be the toughest kid on my block. I said, well, I'm going to tell you what, I am the toughest kid on my block, and I'm going to do, and I told this to the newspaper before the duel in Rapid City, I said, I am going to pin him. I looked up my record in high school in Rapid City, and I was 50-0 with 48 pins, and the two matches that I didn't pin him, I won 12-0 and 23-2, and I had those guys pinned. The ref just didn't call it. So in my mind, I was 50-0 in Rapid City with 50 pins, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not wrestling the Russian world champ. I'm wrestling the guy to find out who is the toughest kid on the block, and I am going to pin him. And that's what I told. That's what I told the Rapid City Journal, and I told the radios. And you know what happened in the match? I pinned the Russian in the first period, threw him on his back and pinned him.
Dang.
So I am the toughest kid on my block.